Monday I wrote about the relationship between conservatism and Christianity. More specifically, I wanted to take a look at the perspective of the person at the center of Christianity, and that is Jesus Christ himself. As Christians, we believe that Jesus had the perspective of God, that he was God, and he was sent by God as a gift to humanity. Now, in many places in the United States, it is often believed that there is no contradiction in believing in Jesus' teaching and also practicing conservatism in politics. And even though I am someone who identifies as both a Christian and a conservative, I wanted to tug at this a little today, to examine it a bit more and really find out how true it is. One thing that a lot of Christians seem to believe is that the Bible has little to say about politics or how we should organize government. A lot of times we quote a passage from Matthew in which Jesus says, "Give unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and God what is God's." I believe this passage is very important in making a distinction between spiritual authority and government, but I also think we are doing a disservice to the Bible if we think that's all Jesus had to say on the matter. The Bible, and especially Jesus' teaching, has so much to offer us, and we need to search the entirety of the Scriptures to find wisdom. So here's one passage in the Gospel of Mark that I'm especially fond of. In case you're not familiar with it, I'm going to narrate it for you in this video. The Pharisees and some of the teachers of the law who had come from Jerusalem gathered around Jesus and saw some of his disciples eating food with hands that were defiled, that is, unwashed. The Pharisees and all the Jews do not eat unless they give their hands a ceremonial washing, holding to the tradition of the elders. When they come from the marketplace, they do not eat unless they wash, and they observe many other traditions, such as the washing of cups, pitchers, and kettles. So the Pharisees and teachers of the law asked Jesus, "Why don't your disciples live according to the tradition of the elders, instead of eating their food with defiled hands?" He replied, "Isaiah was right when he prophesied about you hypocrites. As it is written, 'These people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. They worship in vain. Their teachings are merely human rules.' You have let go of the commands of God and are holding on to human traditions." And he continued, "You have a fine way of setting aside the commands of God in order to observe your own traditions. For Moses said, 'Honor your father and mother,' and 'anyone who curses their father or mother is to be put to death.' But you say that if anyone declares that what might have been used to help their father or mother is korban, that is, devoted to God, then you no longer let them do anything for their father or mother. Thus you nullify the word of God by your tradition that you have handed down, and you do many things like that." Mark 7, 1-13. So what you find in this passage is Jesus making a distinction between human tradition and obedience to the commands of God. I think this is so important for conservatives today. Now first, you have to look at this and say, well, it's very similar in spirit to Matthew 22, the "Give unto Caesar's" quote. It doesn't contradict anything Jesus said about government or politics elsewhere. But this passage is also much more specific. Instead of talking about taxes or government in general, Jesus is specifically showing that human tradition can get off base. You have these Pharisees criticizing Jesus for not washing his hands while he's trying to save the world. Their perspective is off. The same folks are preventing people from taking care of their parents using commands that God designed for them to love their parents. And so what this shows is that we have to have a strong value set for conservatism. We can't just say, well, the past was better, or tradition is always right. We have to have a specific lens to look at it, and then we use that same lens to judge the present and pursue the future. Edmund Burke talked about this a lot. He always said that the past should get the nod because it holds the accumulated wisdom of our civilization. We need to honor it first. But he never said that we should follow it blindly. Burke never said we should stop trying to make things better today than they were yesterday. He believed that we needed strong values to make this happen. And Jesus shows us exactly what those values are. They are found in his love. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and the essay as well. You can find more material like this on theburkingconservative.com. Feel free to leave a like, a comment on this, interact with me on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, whatever you like, and I'll see you next week.